Amazing Liverpool go top of the league. Scintillating form at Anfield today. Mo Salah with another goal. Mane with his customary goal against Crystal Palace, bringing up his century of goals for Liverpool. And I think 13 against Palace. We also saw Arsenal get their second win of the season with VAR doing what it was meant to do. VAR stepping up, being the magic that it is, and saving football matches once again. I've always spoke highly of VAR as a general rule, and we saw so many cases of it today, saving football. Arsenal get their win. They may have dropped points today if VAR did not exist. Everybody bow down to VAR, saving football since day one. They get their victory. That's 2 wins on the bounce, 2 clean sheets on the bounce. Were they at their scintillating best? I don't think so. We're going to take your calls very, very soon on that. But other massive news today, Manchester City flop. Manchester City thought they had won it at the death, but this goal was disallowed for offside. Raheem Sterling adjudged to be offside. The goal was disallowed. They dropped points today at home. And of course, this in the wake of Pep Guardiola and his fans having a little bit of a set to about support, about stick to your management. They've dropped points today. Liverpool have capitalised. What are we going to see from Chelsea and Manchester United tomorrow? What a Saturday afternoon of football we have seen. We're going to take your views. We're going to get your opinions. Get your super chats in, please, ladies and gentlemen. Smash that like and share button as well. And for all of our members, there's brand new Jack Grealish and Mohamed Salah emojis now available for all of our members. I'll post the Mohamed Salah one because he's just star boy again today in the Premier League. You'll see the emojis. I've just posted them there, so members get using them. Let's do this, people. Let's go. Liverpool Football Club, top of the Premier League. How long will they stay there? Could this be where they plot up for the rest of the season? They certainly look good today, even with the level of changes that Liverpool Football Club had to make. You know, we saw no Robertson, we saw no Trent Alexander-Arnold, and there didn't appear to be any problems. You know, the system saw themselves through. 6 years in, it's so well drilled with Milner, Tsimikas, of course, coming into those fullback positions, doing very, very well indeed. And Liverpool really had a few hairy moments early on. The opening 5 minutes, 6 minutes, Palace probably should have scored twice. But the lack of quality shone through in Benteke. The lack of quality, again, shining through with Wilfried Zaha. It's why I've always said Zaha is a good player. I don't put him on the same level. If that chance of Zaha's fell to Rashford, if it fell to Son, if it fell to Mohamed Salah, puts it away. It doesn't matter what club you're at, that chance is that chance is that chance is that chance. Didn't finish it. Liverpool, though, came back in, absolutely dominated and see themselves go top. Gooners, we want to hear from you today as well. I'm going to share the link very, very soon. 2 wins on the bounce. And look, Burnley were in that game. Let us not get twisted. Burnley were in that game until the very last moment. They were awarded a penalty. We want to take your calls on it. Do you think it was right or the wrong decision to overturn the penalty that was awarded? Anyone who's ever been against VAR, like Arsenal fans sat on here a year ago and said there is a conspiracy theory against them. VAR, it's a planned attack against Arsenal Football Club. I need to hear from you, Gooners. That's 2 VAR decisions in the space of a week that have enabled you to win 2 games. There is no bias. They give the best decisions they can. And 99.9% of the time, VAR gets decisions spot on. Saving football since day dot. So glad it's here to save this beautiful game. There are a few people in the comments saying it was a pen because if the goalie hadn't made contact with the player, he would have run onto the ball and been able to put it into the back of the net. I don't think that's how the rules work. I don't think that's the laws. But there we go. And City fans, how are you feeling? You conceded a penalty, but then it was overturned again by VAR correctly. Kyle Walker made the mistake again. His pace got him out of trouble. Suspect defender, no doubt. And then a goal disallowed at the death to stop you from picking up 3 points. So much to delve into today. We're going to do some of your super chats first of all here. There's loads of super chats there. I've missed the majority of them. I'm very sorry. I'm going to try and get them all back up here. First one here. Monster Ahmed, said 5 games. Oh, I've lost it now. I'm so annoyed when that happens. Monster, I'll get it in a minute for you, mate. I'm very sorry. Dinesh here says, I forgot it on this one. No, it's literally gone. They've all disappeared. I've got it back. It says 5 games, 4 games with 3-0 and only 1 goal conceded in 5. Great start. Come on, Terry. Sing the Salah song. I know you want to. Yeah, I'm not singing Mohamed Salah's song. I will always praise my rivals. I'm not singing their songs. Afternoon, Terry. Mo Salah is the best in the Premier League for Liverpool. He is working back in defence. Listen, I've said this for many, many weeks. Mohamed Salah is Liverpool's greatest ever Premier League player. Greatest ever Premier League player. When you look at the most important attributes, consistency, abundance, records. Just look at records that he holds in the Premier League for an attacking player. And then he's won the big trophies. Those are the 3 most important things. Forget who votes him into TFA. Like, there's been times when he's been the best player in the league and not won PFA Player of the Year. Who cares? Who cares? It's about scoring goals, being consistent, breaking records, winning trophies. That's all that matters. Speak to any football player. What do they tell their kids when they got when they've got their grandkids sitting around them when they're older? What do they say? Oh, in 2003, I was in the team of the year. Or is it in 2005, I lifted the Champions League? That is the stories you tell your families. Mo Salah, greatest Premier League player in Liverpool's history. Superstar. Granit Xhaka is a proper leader. Got himself sent off in a game that was done so Arsenal can start their season. Put some respect on his name. Man like Sullum here says, where are those people who criticize United for dropping points against Southampton? Same standard surely against City when we actually played better than City against the Saints. Yeah, I had all 3 games on today. City were absolutely woeful. KDB, come on. Honestly, never. KSI maybe. I don't know. Literally, KDB, get out of here. Awful performance from him today. Awful performance from him. A lot of people were saying it was a penalty. I'm going to share the link soon. I want you to phone up and have your say today. Man like Marble Halls TV here says, happy for the win. Managed Burnley well. Odegaard or Ramsdale man of the match. Mikel needs a lot to do to keep his job, but today he did good. Let me speak on Arsenal for a second there. Man of the match for me today was Tomiyasu. So much banter given to Arsenal when they signed him. Because this is the maddest thing. They signed Tomiyasu, and Arsenal got bantered because some presenter on Sky Sports didn't know what his best position was. Go figure the logic behind that. It doesn't even make any sense to a person with a brain cell. Tomiyasu was a class act. So assured. A vital tackle to save a clear goal scoring opportunity, but barely beaten. Good on the ball. He's literally been there a week and a half. A week and a half. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Ramsdale, brilliant. Starting to regret taking the mick out of that signing, to be fair. It's looking very, very good indeed right now. Solid goalkeeper, no doubt. I'll always admit when people are doing well, I always will. Never lie. We love VAR is what Simpy says. Of course, you've got to love VAR. VAR has been saving football. Do you know the amount of games VAR saves? And we don't really think about it as saving the matches. Where Arsenal Man United a couple of seasons ago, when Aubameyang was onside by about 30 meters and they gave it as off. Can you imagine the outrage there? Can you imagine how you feel today, Arsenal fans, without VAR? Can you imagine how Southampton fans... Actually, in fact, both Man City and Southampton were kind of saved by VAR today. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Ali here says, United were heavily criticised for drawing against Southampton. Let's see the same energy against the plastic oil club City. YUFC says, Pep begging fans to show up against Southampton didn't work, I guess. Poor guy. I kind of feel bad for him. I guess you can't buy fans. Maria Williams in the house. Welcome back, Maria. Says, pen against Arsenal wasn't a pen. Right decision. Also, whoever panned down Eleanor last night needs to be spoken to, Terry. Listen, I spoke to the cameraman afterwards. I'll be honest with you, I didn't notice it during the show because I don't watch every single second of it. It was all to do with what she was wearing. There was conversation before the show began about her dressing well, and it was like, I'm going to show it off to everybody. So if you were there in the room, you kind of knew it was going to come. It wasn't meant in that way. Eleanor's cool with it. Spoke to Sam. It did also happen to Monstar like about a minute later as well, because he wanted his drip. You could listen to what Monstar said. He goes, you showed her drip off, show my drip off as well. So there was context to it, but I totally get how it looked. We spoke to everybody about that last night. I'm so proud of Sambi. Listen, I thought Partey was very good in the middle today. I actually think, like, by himself in the middle, done really well. Don't stick El Neni. Don't stick anyone next to him. Just let him play football. Do you know what I mean? It cheapens him. It's like, do you know what it's like? It's like mixing It's like buying a real with Thomas Partey when you play like the Xhakas and the Onenis next to him, right? It's like buying a bottle of scotch where, I don't know, it's £50 a glass, £100 a glass, the best scotch or best whiskey you can buy. But they're mixing Diet Coke with it. It's an abomination. It's an abomination. Leave Partey by himself. How do you rate Konate's Anfield debut? Listen, Konate today was good. He was good, you know. There was a time where Zaha looked like he got the best of him. He caught up with really good speed, showed good, a little bit clumsy, but he's young. Like, defenders, when they're young, are a little bit clumsy. They're finding their feet still. They're like kids learning to walk. But Konate's first performance was good. When you consider the volume of change, so it wasn't like he went in with Trent one side, Robertson still there. There are a number of players missing today, and he came in. He looked good. It didn't look like his debut. So, yeah, I thought Konate was very, very good today indeed, no doubt. We're going to start going to calls now. We've got Hussein, we've got Igal, we've got Tom Little, all to come on the show and have their say. Do me a big favour, though, and smash that like button. Let's get it out there. We're talking Arsenal, we're talking City, we're talking Liverpool being top of the Premier League as well today. This title race is going to be amazing. It's already amazing, in my opinion. So excited. We're going to go to the first call, which is going to be Hussein. We're going to get some calls on, bring a panel on, then go to your calls. We're covering all the games today, so it's a big, big show for us. Let's do it, people. Welcome back to the show, mate. Congratulations. Give me your thoughts on the performance and result today from Liverpool Football Club.
Result, absolutely phenomenal result. The performance, as you said, a bit shaky at times. And, you know, I just want to say this. This is how Man United ruined my childhood, because they weren't always at a 10 out of 10 every week, but they kept winning. And this is what we did, because today's performance, I think if you ask the fans, it's probably like, you know, an 8 out of 10, a 7 out of 10. A few players were at 6s and 7s. However, we end up with a 3-0 win. We keep a clean sheet. We created quite a few chances. I think Jota today did a Mane, and Mane did a Jota where he scored a poacher's goal. Jota missed an absolute sitter. Mo Salah, I'm saying this statement, and I know even though there might be people who disagree, it's not even a wild statement to say. I think Mo Salah is the best player in the Premier League right now, because the weird thing is about him is he's just so not like aesthetically pleasing to look at. However, when you look at him play football and you see what he does on the football pitch, you're like, wow. I think Mo Salah has actually created more chances in the Premier League this season than Paul Pogba. He's scoring goals left, right, and center. He's actually better at creating chances as well this season, which is absolutely mad for me to see. And finally, Naby Keita, out of everyone, scores a goal with his left foot on a volley. So, you know, the entire game, like a few strange things have happened. However, I just want to say with Konate's debut, a bit disappointing. I wouldn't say he was amazing. He wasn't horrible. He was in the middle. It's okay though, because it's his debut, so we have to give him a chance to fit in, especially given the fact exactly what you said. He's a bit young right now. It's not like, you know, you can just go in there immediately in your first ever Premier League game and be a phenomenal. So he needs time to bed in. However, I was impressed, but I just have to say that the negative to me was sometimes in the game we were just, you know, a bit too complacent, not taking, you know, not 100% sure of what's actually happening around us. I think that's the negative, and that comes with the best right back in the world not playing. I thought Milner defensively was good, but going forward, absolutely shocking. Milner was absolutely shocking going forward today. It's just decision making in the final third from Milner for such an experienced person was disappointing. However, nothing to complain about. Obviously top of the league right now.
I want to ask you a question. Go on. I don't necessarily, two things. One thing I heavily disagree with you on. I'm not even going to get into the right back thing. We did that yesterday. Mo Salah being the best player in the Prem. I can agree with that to a certain extent, in terms of, especially if we look over the last 3 or 4 years and we add that up. If we're not going to look at it as like Ronaldo's just returned, therefore he's the best. Yeah. We think someone most consistent in the last 3 or 4 years, the best of the last 3 or 4 years, I'd be happy to put Mo Salah top. I've never felt that about Steven Gerrard as an example. It's all right. So, but I'll get onto that. I'll get onto that in a second. I want to ask you a question. It isn't a statement. It's a question to Liverpool fans. I want to understand. I disagree with you heavily, though, on the aesthetically pleasing. I think Mo Salah, I enjoy watching him. He excites me. I like how he dribbles. Whenever he picks that ball up and he's anywhere from the corner flag, right round to the middle of the D at the edge of the box, anywhere in that region, I think something can happen. It could be he beat someone with a dribble. He'll play the right cut. There were some reverse passes he played today to play people in. That's just majestic. He can shoot from distance if he needs to. You know, he can play a 1-2. Whenever he's got the ball, I think something's going to happen, more so than any other player in that Liverpool team. Personally, I also think he looks quite good. I don't quite get this. He doesn't look great thing. That's just something I don't buy into. But I want to ask you a question. Best player in the league last 2, 3, 4 years. Cool. Like, why is it when it comes to people saying he's maybe Liverpool's best ever Premier League player, is that just like, no, it can't be, it's Gerrard? Like, what more do you think he's got to do or win for him to be regarded as the best? And I'll give you an example. All Man United fans will tell you the best player that's ever played for us in the Prem is Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not from our academy. He wasn't born in Salford, but we just know he's the best. What would it take, in your opinion, for Liverpool fans to recognise a non-Scouser as your best player in the Prem?
I think he's currently easily top 3 minimum, like at worst, like possibly people would put him 3rd. The thing is with Gerrard, like, you know, it's longevity. It's the fact he played there for 20 years. It's the fact he was our best player, like 18 years out of the 20, everything he's accomplished. And, you know, it was always the underdog story. That's the difference. With Mo Salah, obviously, he is surrounded with way better talent than Gerrard was surrounded by. I think now that, to answer your question, I think in 2-3 years' time, if let's say he's won 2 more golden boots, we've accomplished a few different trophies as well, with him being pivotal in us getting those trophies. And he's actually recognized individually, you know, like he's up there with all the individual people.
Yeah.
I think then he actually gets put into that conversation. But he's not far off. He's not far off at all. As much as I love Gerrard, he isn't far off.
No, and I agree. I think for me, it's more about trophies. If he wins another couple of Premier Leagues and another Champions League, I just think it becomes a non-debate, because it's just everything. And I understand Gerrard's got the longevity element, but at the same time, like if he wins 2 or 3 Prems and a couple of Champions Leagues, it just becomes a non-debate to me. Listen, bro, we'll get you back on with the panel soon. I know you've got to go pray. Speak to you in a bit, brother. Thank you very much indeed. Top man. Sam here says, Mane 100 club. Him and Salah are the most underrated legends in the Prem. Not by the Football Terrace. Like a lot of, you know what's weird? I get this channel's been called out a lot recently for being like anti-Liverpool. We're not anti any club. We just say what we think. We don't toe party lines on the Football Terrace. We don't say, oh, do you know what? If I criticize a Liverpool player today, I'm not scared of upsetting Liverpool fans. I'm not scared of being called a hater. I'm not scared of being called biased. I'm not scared of people unsubscribing because I give an opinion I don't like. That isn't what we're looking to do. I could sit there on every stream and say all the things every fan base wants to hear. I know what you all want to hear because I follow all your fan bases on Twitter. I know exactly what to say to keep you all on side and exactly what to say to upset you. I do none of those things as a contrived, staged effort. I say what I think with chest. I believe in it. If you like it, great. If you want, we're not an echo chamber here. It's as simple as that. Mane has been sensational in the Prem for Southampton and Liverpool. He's not been as good the last 18 months. No one can deny that. But there is a player in there. Mo Salah, one of the greatest attackers in the history of the Premier League. Records, goals, consistency, trophies. Though they are the only fifth thing you add into that where you start talking about ultimate legends is longevity, how long you stay at the top. But they're the key 5 factors for greatness for a football player. From an attacker's point of view, goals, records, titles, longevity, consistency. Don't put having longevity about consistency because that's weird. I mean, imagine being average for 20 years. You're not a legend. Listen, next on the show, we're going to get a Gal on to speak Arsenal. We've got LFC Sonny to come, Tom to come, Samuel to come, and we are going to take your call. Stay with the Terrace. No other channel is going to give you the chance to speak today. Get those super chats in. Gal's now here with me. Let's go. Gal's in the house. Second win of the season. A nice clean sheet. Give me your thoughts.
Finally, VAR is actually doing its job. It's actually doing its job, and it's not working against us because the referees, they're trying their best, Terry. They're trying their best to even out the playing field and give Burnley that goal, but it wasn't going to happen today. VAR came out. They knew Ramsdale didn't make a mistake, but you know what? Ben White leading to that error, it was Mustafi-esque. I see why people make fun of Ben White, but the same way why we cannot gas players after 2 games, we should not we should not be criticizing them to the level and the extent that people are going at. I get the jokes that, oh, he let the guy go and it was a little error leading to a goal, leading to a goal scoring opportunity, which led to the penalty, which was subsequently ruled out. But as you said, Terry, 2 times this season so far where VAR has overturned something, and 2 times where it's the correct decision. I have nothing to go when it's the correct decision. When it's a shady decision, like what happened last year against Wolves, that's when I get mad. When it's a shady decision, like what happened last year against Burnley, where it was a clear handball and Pepe never got the handball, that's when I get mad. But this right here, I can't get mad about. Clean sheet. Ramsdale's looking good. People can't be calling him Ramsdale garbage anymore, because they clearly see he's confident with the ball at his feet. He's a confident goalkeeper, and he was even doing some silly tricks in there. You know what? I haven't seen an Arsenal goalkeeper do that ever. Realistically, none of our goalkeepers have had the ball playing ability, and sometimes we have to give the credit where credit's due. We made fun of all the signings. People made fun of the Odegaard signing. Guess what? I was wrong. Maddison is having a stinker so far, and Odegaard has been playing well. And you know what? He's younger, he has scope to grow, and he's cheaper. So it might end up working out to be a better deal. When it comes to Gabriel Magalhaes, Terry, this guy, we've missed this guy. We have not seen him play the beginning of the season. And Gabriel today was my man of the match personally. I know you mentioned Takahiro Tomiyasu, but you do realize Gabriel had so many clearances, was so dominant. He was a no-nonsense defender. And in this game against Burnley, a team that's physical, we need those no-nonsense defenders. And in my opinion, watching it, I see Takahiro Tomiyasu doing that clearance. But there was times where Takahiro Tomiyasu was out of position and Gabriel was the one saving the day. And from the left side, coming all the way to the right side and helping out both Ben White and Takahiro Tomiyasu, Gabriel was the monster in this game. And I think he was absolutely underrated. He's one of those guys that is just going under the radar because he plays for Arsenal. Everyone else is looking at everybody else, but our defense has been good. And when he's been in the team, our defense was at its best last year. So I'm saying Gabriel was man of the match, deserves some plaudits. And Pepe, Aubameyang, Saka, Smith Rowe, the attack overall was a little bit disjointed. We need to be more clinical. We need to find a way to get that final ball. And Pepe's frustrating. I like Pepe, don't get me wrong, but it's frustrating because today there was moments where it could have been 2-0, goal, game done. But you know what happened, Terry? He tried to do the soft pass where you can collect it easily. And the player, when he receives the pass, it's right in front of them and it's so soft. But the pass was so weak that the defender just came and took it away. If you would have given a nice sturdy pass, like what Bruno did to the other day, he would have been in his position. It would have been 2-0, game done. Same thing earlier. Yeah, Smith Rowe made the same mistake. Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Pepe, you guys need to do this.
But I think as well, look, you won today, which was good. There was some very good defensive displays today, there's no doubt. Are you happy with how you moved the ball and played, though? Because you were up against Burnley, and in my opinion, it was a 50-50 game. So I looked at it and it looked like two teams of about the same level. You had slightly better, you've got much better football players. But there were times in the game where, Ramsdale had a great game. And I think that's the one thing I would be worried about. And I don't mean this with any salt. I'm asking a question. When your defenders and goalkeeper are your best performers, that can only happen if you're being attacked a lot, your midfield's being broken down and you're being peppered, right? Is that a concern? Do you feel there's been much improvement in your team in these last two games? You played two of the worst teams in the league and won 1-0. In both games, you could have easily have drawn or even lost in terms of share of chances. Are you concerned that when you go back up against a team with higher quality, all this Odegaard talk, all this like dominant defenders, do you feel like this could all just come crashing down again very quickly?
Terry, a lot of teams don't click into gear right away, but at Arsenal, we always seem to be making things hard for ourselves. Defensively, this game, we didn't make things hard for ourselves. We were good defensively. The issue is now in the final third. If we can get some more game time together with these players and a better understanding of how things should be going in the final third, maybe then we can get that final ball, get that final issue. But the main issue for me, Terry, is we get everything. We're doing everything up until the box. Once we get into the box and there's less space, that's where the issue is.
And I get that. And that's my point. This is what I would say to Arsenal fans. I'd be happy with a win, always be happy with a win. But when you look at it today, Burnley had 18 shots to your 13 as an example. Burnley completed 16 clearances. 16 clearances, right? You completed 32. They made 12 blocks on your shots. You made 16 blocks on theirs. You defended astutely, but no one's barring McNeil. How many of the Burnley players even worry anybody? I would just say to Arsenal fans, be happy with the win, but keep your feet firmly on that ground. And I wouldn't get too carried away because Crystal Palace beat you today. As an example, Leicester
disagree,
beat you today. Everton beat you today because they just got more quality on the ball in and around your box, you know, and yourselves did well, but you actually got statistically outplayed today by a much weaker team, a team that, you know, Aubameyang's wages probably covers the majority of the players in that team. So you should be looking to be a lot more dominant against teams like Burnley. So I would say it's a good step. Be happy, but I wouldn't be getting carried away at this point.
Terry, I'm not getting carried away for one moment.
You are getting carried away because you just sat here and been like, we were absolutely right not to get James Madison, stinker, Odegaard's turning around. You said that. No.
That's not what I mean. What I mean is,
I'm
being proven wrong by Odegaard playing well, and I'm happy about that.
By him scoring a free kick and barely breaking down Burnley.
Odegaard played decent today. The issue was
Burnley. Burnley created more chances than you.
Harry, it doesn't. You only play who you're playing. And today, when we play, as much as you're saying it could have gone the other way, we could have also scored 3 goals. We had 3 or 4 situations where
you're forgetting the point here. You're Arsenal. They are Burnley. Like I've said, you deserved your win today because you scored. They didn't.
But Terry,
I am just saying, calm down. 2 games ago,
I am calm.
Sack the manager. It's falling apart. Now it's Odegaard better than Madison. The goalkeeper looks good.
Right there.
No,
Harry,
you're getting carried away.
Regardless who the manager is, everybody get this clear right now. Regardless who the manager is, I want Arsenal to win games. As a fan, I want us to win games. So today we won a game. I'm happy as a fan. I have the right to be happy. You celebrate fans. I'm being happy.
I told you. I said be happy. I'm saying calm down.
Let me challenge you here. I genuinely feel like this could have been a 3-0 game. As easy as you're saying, it could have been a draw. 3-0 to Arsenal. Let me explain. Pepe, when we are in transition, we slow down and we don't pass the ball into the channels. If we were to pass the balls into the channels more often, and instead of playing it behind the players or trying to give it to their feet, we would then give ourselves a better opportunity to score. Yes. There was 3 or 4 opportunities where it could have been easily 2-0, which we did not take.
And I understand that. You're missing the point. It's Burnley. They're not the majority of games this season are harder than this.
Okay, so what's the point? Southampton just drew against Man City, much better quality team. Every team in the league has a certain level of quality, and we understand that the Premier League is one of the best leagues. That's why these results happen. That's why we lost to Brentford. We took them for granted. Today, we didn't take them for granted. And I am humbling myself by saying this is a good win, even though we didn't play well.
Okay. I understand you now. We'll get you back on the panel soon. Top man, Miguel, thank you very much indeed. Top man, thank you. Viewers, smash that like button for us today. Let's get it past that 500 like mark. Over 2,400 people watching, which is amazing. Terry, I'm with you, but you can't just say it's Burnley. What I mean by saying it's Burnley is you should be outplaying them, and you didn't in terms of attempts on goal. Gal's right. They didn't break them down enough. The transition wasn't right. The play wasn't right. Against a better team, if you're not able to break them down and they've got better quality going forward, it could be worrying. I don't understand why what I'm saying is so offensive. I just feel like it's a fact. Next caller we're going to go to Tom Little's coming on next to speak Liverpool. Then Sonny's coming on, and Gunnar Souls is here as well. And then we're going to be taking your calls. Tom Little's here, Liverpool fan in the house, top of the league. Give me your thoughts, mate.
The Reds have got no money, but we're going to win the league. Oh, we are so good. We are so good. I'm not concerned about the spells that Crystal Palace had, because if you watch football, you know every team has a spell in the game. And they had a 10, 15-minute spell at the start where we switched off for a little bit. It happens. What I'm more impressed about was how Crystal Palace are a team that's got a lot of confidence. They've got a lot of confidence at the minute. And, you know, we came out there and we've done our job. With a weakened team positions, you know, Tsimikas, great. Milner, great. This is a great performance. You can only beat what's in front of you. at the end of the day, and it was another brilliant performance. Mo Salah, we're running out of words. We're running out of words to describe him. He's that good. Jota had an awful game, but we can gloss over that because he's been quality.
Yeah, that miss, that when you win 3-0, you can forgive those misses. I mean, that miss is honestly is one of the worst I've ever seen in the Prem because he went to smash it. I love Jota. I know Jota. He's a really great guy. I'm almost texting him. I'm going to text him, and be like, Jota. No, I thought, no, do you know what? Don't want to burn the relationship. But yeah, really good from yourselves today, mate. I think you're looking so comfortable. I don't even think you're at your best yet. So Liverpool looking really, really good. And the mid, you were starting Harvey Elliott earlier on in the season. Of course, he's got that horrible injury, but still, your team is performing and doing well and everything else that you would expect them to be doing, mate. So really, really, really good indeed. We'll get you back on with the panel soon, mate. Top man. Thank you very much indeed, Tom. Next on the show, Gunnar Souls is here to talk Arsenal. What you saying, bro?
I don't even know how I'm awake. That was the most boring display of football I have seen from Arsenal in a very long time. Good win, 2 on the bounce, 6 points out of 15. Bit disappointing. Obviously, there's context behind the 3 losses that we had at the start of the season. Now he's got his spine back. He's got most of his starting 11 back. It's only going to get better from here, in my opinion. There were so many signs of, there was no chemistry. And I think once that kind of develops, they will get better. Odegaard had an okay game. The goal was good. Incredible free kick. It's kind of what we bought him in for. But for me, I just don't think that display was good enough. There were concerning signs, but most of it for me was just more to do with the fact they've not played enough together. And as that develops, I do think they'll get better because some of them was just missed passes, missed touches. Yeah. Saka had in my opinion, Saka could have got 2 goals if he had patterned up his touch. Odegaard, the same thing. Pepe is just, I don't know what's going on with him. If Saka and ESR can add goals to their games, we won't be forcing Pepe into this team. And I think it's time for Pepe to go. Unfortunately, yes, a lot of fans love him because of how he ended the season last season. But for me, it's time for Pepe to go, unfortunately. He's too wasteful. There's a lot of opportunities that go in behind for him. And he seems to be caught in 2 minds constantly, whether he wants to make the pass or shoot. And he's being too wasteful for me.
I hear you on that, bro. I do. Look, we'll get you back on with the panel really soon, mate. Top man. Gunnar, thank you very much indeed. Gunnar Souls is there. Make sure that like button's being smashed. When we get the panel on, we're going to be discussing some of the big decisions today in detail live here on the terrace. We're looking at the Arsenal penalty. Did VAR get it right in your opinion? Forget what I think, in your opinion. We're also going to be looking at the Raheem Sterling disallowed goal. Man City's penalty decision that was overturned where they nearly suffered a red card. We want to speak about that today. But of course, Man City dropping points at home today of all days. After Pep, went to war with, I did see a fake quote, by the way. I saw the best fake quote I've ever seen in my life. And it's like an angry picture of Pep, like he was talking into a microphone. And it says, if you want me, if I have to go to, I think he said, if I have to go to war with Man City fans, I will. I'll fight all 6 of them at the same time if I need to. Honestly, the best fake comment I've ever seen. Next on the show, though, LFC Sonny is here with us to have his say. Welcome back to the terrace, mate. Let's do this. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm very good, especially after that winner. And the best thing I look at it that way is Liverpool lose that game last season. Liverpool, for me, if you're a Liverpool fan and you don't think Liverpool are going to win the league, I think you're crazy. They've rotated the squad. So for me, we've gone past this thing now where if we've got to drop someone like a Van Dijk, if we've got to drop like a main attacker, someone like that, we'll get the job done. We've done it against AC Milan. We've done it today with James Milner at right back, Tsimikas at left back. And I know a lot of people don't rate those two. So for me, Liverpool will win the league this season. Man City have dropped points. Man United lost to young boys. Chelsea will drop points tomorrow. Liverpool, if you're writing them off, I don't know for you. Liverpool they have the mentality back. They have the fans back. And I know people say, oh, but every single team has fans, stuff like that. Liverpool, and I'll admit this, are over-reliant on fans. And that's why it's so important this season that they are back. And Liverpool, for me, will go all the way. Salah as well. Salah this season, he will breeze the golden boot. Even if he's missing a couple games for AFCON, he will breeze it. I don't think Salah goes many games this season where he doesn't score a goal. And the fact he's going game in, game out, almost getting at least one goal, that's going to be so crucial for Liverpool winning the league this season. We've got Mane, who people say, oh, he's rubbish, he's finished, stuff like that. He's still bagging. I swear Mane's like top scorer this season so far as well. So the standards are all the way up here. That's where the slander comes from. But Liverpool this season, they're going to be immense. They already are immense.
Yeah, and I suppose what that will do, it will just increase Klopp's legacy, won't it?
Yeah, he'll win it back. He'll win it back.
No, listen, I hear you on that, mate. I'm going to get you on with the panel really, really soon to have your say. Top man. Thank you, Sonny. Super chat here says Salah was Liverpool's best player when they won, with a question mark. Salah has been the best player when Liverpool won something. Van Dijk Champions League, Mane Prem, not opinion, just facts. Oh, Hazard equals Prem, Kante Prem. Yeah, but do you know what it is with Mo Salah? In everything Liverpool have done since he's been at the club, he's been in the top echelon of performers. Who is the best player is a subjective thing for me. But the reason I put Mo Salah above every other Liverpool player, probably barring Van Dijk, but he missed the injury period, is that like the others have all been up and down. He was really good this season, less this year. Salah's just been top quality from start to finish, and that's why I like it. And sometimes what happens is when you're so consistent, is standout performances don't happen. So to give you a little example, a little analogy. At my primary school, we had this thing called Student of the Week. And every classroom, they picked a boy and a girl from the class, and they would pick a Student of the Week. And then the assembly was split. And you had like half the school went to one assembly and half the school went to another, probably like most schools. And every classroom had a kid on the Friday assembly that sat on the stage, 2 kids that sat on the stage, and then they got their Student of the Week award. And the head teacher would read out why the teacher had given it to them. Great. I found a way of getting more of them. Foolproof plan. I was like, how can I get more of these? Be naughty for 2 weeks and then have a really good week, and you won it because they noticed your improvement in behavior. Used to work like in year 6. I got like 12. My dad's like, how'd you get 12 of these? I was like, I don't know, Dad, I've been really good. It's because I misbehaved, really naughty, and I was really, really good. And so my good behavior stood out. The really good kids that were always good, their behavior was just like, it looked like middle of the road because they were always at the same consistency. That's why Mohamed Salah's greatness, Ryan Giggs' greatness as football players, Paul Scholes' greatness go missing because it wasn't peaks and peaks. The peak, everyone remembers the peak. It's that consistency in the middle. You know what I mean? Which is amazing. It's why Stevie Wonder is the greatest musician of all time for me. His peaks weren't as high as other people's, but the consistency for 6 decades has just been astounding. So remember that. Kids, misbehave for 2 weeks and be really good. You get lots of awards at school. Don't do that. It's a joke. It's a joke. I did do it, but don't you do it. I was a naughty, naughty boy. He's talking trash. Salah's pass. Sorry. He's talking trash. Salah passed Gerrard long time. Even Mane to Van Dijk, but Suarez is Liverpool's best ever player. Suarez. Michael Ram. You think Suarez is their best ever? I don't even think he's their best striker. I thought in his pomp, I would actually pick Torres at his best over. See, what Luis Suarez did, Luis Suarez scored goals that were just like, how has he done that? How did he do that? But I think if you could take fully fit, no injuries, Fernando Torres at his pomp is Liverpool's best striker, in my opinion. Again, I'm not, do you know what the maddest bit is? I praise Liverpool, but it still upsets them. It's like, no, I think Torres was your best ever striker. How dare you offend Ian Rush? It's like, no, I'm not having a go at Rush. I'm just saying that's who my favourite is. It's just chill, innit? Chill. Terry, do you think Oxlade-Chamberlain should have been sold during the summer? I think everybody at Liverpool with injury tendencies should be sold, including Keita. All tremendously talented footballers, but you can't rely on the body made of biscuits. Body's made of, rich tea biscuits as well. Like, they don't even can't even dunk them things. We're going to get the panel on now, but I wanted to share something first of all here, because we're going to be bringing Hussein, Tom, Igal, Sonny, Gunnar Souls back on, then taking calls from everybody else. We're going to go through some of the big talking points from today, but I need to share some statistics. I love a stat. We all know I love a stat. Tomiyasu gets my man of the match, like my overall man of the match from today. Tomiyasu gets, and I'm going to show you as to why. Look at that. This is the man today. 100% aerial duels won. 100% of his duels won. 79 touches the most. 5 duels, 5 recoveries, 5 clearances, 5 aerial duels, 1 interception, one completed, 100% on his tackling. Like it's a sense. Look at the way his players are surrounding him at the end. You should always take note of what professionals say or do towards another individual, right? Tremendous. And I know that what Gal said made sense. He was caught out of position a few times. That was more to do with the fact that he was trying to attack down that side, and then his midfielder, his teammates lost the ball. It's not that his fault he's out of position as such. He recovered well, though, and of course his teammates helped him. Tomiyasu, sensational today. Mo Salah, great today. Want to get into the Man City stuff when we bring the panel back on, though, people. Smash that like and share button. Let's get everyone back on to have their say. Let's go! I got everybody in time. Sometimes I'm trying to get everybody in time, and I'm just clicking these buttons. I need to make them stings a little bit quicker. How are we all doing, gentlemen?
I'm good. Everyone here won, so we're happy.
Do you know what, though? When everybody wins, well, actually, I'm happy because City lost. But you know, when like a lot of rivals win, it makes me more nervous about my game. Because it's like, oh, we've got to win now because everyone else went and picked up.
I just want to say something about Mo Salah, though. It's embarrassing he took his shirt off in a 2-0 victory versus Crystal Palace. I remember. That is embarrassing. The man is celebrating that way, going crazy. He already scored his 100th goal. There's no significance to this second goal versus Crystal Palace at home. This is embarrassing because I remember Bukayo Saka took off his shirt because he was putting on taking off his undershirt during the Euros. Everyone called him embarrassing.
Whoa, do you know what? I'm jumping in here. I'm jumping in here. This is victim mentality there from you, Gal. Oh, feelings. Everyone had a go at Saka, so I'm gonna have a go at Mo Salah. No. He took his shirt off. Let him take his shirt off. Do you know what I mean? The ladies loved it. Sonny loved it. Do you know what I mean?
I did love it. I mean, I'm not a gay man, but honestly, it makes me question myself sometimes when he takes his shirt off. I ain't gonna take the piss. Like he's something else. I ain't gonna lie, he's something else.
Sonny out here, considering his preferences over Mo Salah. Love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Listen, there's nothing wrong with saying a man's attractive. Like you should be brave enough. I remember saying that in front of some of my mates once. I don't know what they were talking about. I think I said it about. I think it was Ryan Reynolds. I was like, yeah, I've got a man crush on Ryan Reynolds, and my boys were like, what? I said, yeah, he's a good-looking guy. They were like, bro. I said, I'm very comfortable in my sexuality.
He should have got yellow. He got a yellow for taking.
Yeah, everyone does. Everyone does for that. Everyone does for that. No doubt. Why? I want to speak, man, guys. I want to speak. Why? I don't really get why.
Isn't it like unsportsmanlike behaviour or something?
I don't know. For me, it's one of those rules. If I was in charge of football, it'd be scrapped tomorrow. Do you know what I'll say? Right? I'll book you if you don't take it off. I mean, celebrate, have fun. Like it ruins it. Like I love it. Jumping into the crowd, like it's mad. Like jumping into the crowd, you get booking for, but telling the ref to F off, nothing happens. I don't understand the logic in that. Yeah. Anyway, I need to talk. Someone here says women wise Megan Fox. Maria Williams saying she fancies Megan Fox. Maybe Conor McGregor likes Megan Fox. There was a big kickoff there. I don't know what's going on there, but there we go. I'd love to have seen Machine Gun Kelly get banged out, though. Having said that, he already got finished once in his life by Eminem, but that's another conversation for another day. I'm not really into that kind of music, but that song I heard where he's what is the line that made me die? Was Kill Shot the song? What was the line in the song that made me die? Was how basically, I'm not going to rap it, but he said, how can you name yourself after a gun when you've got a man bun? And I was like, that's so funny. I loved it. Anyway, I want to talk Man City because we've spoke about all of our teams quite a bit, and I want to chat a bit about Man City on the show because they dropped points today. I don't know how many of you were watching the game. I had all three on here in my office, and they looked lethargic. They looked tired. They looked like they didn't have any ideas. They scored at the very last minute, and the goal was disallowed for offside. We'll take a look at that. But who wants to go first? I mean, there just looked to be something really missing from them. Hussein, I'll hand that to you.
This is why at the start of the season, when I kept doing my predictions, I said 2 title challengers are going to be Liverpool and Chelsea. I genuinely believe City will drop off at a point because you can't go into a season without a striker. Now, yes, they won it last season, but things are different this season. It's like, I get it's been done before, Liverpool with Firmino, etc. But looking at the setup they have too many creators in a team and no one to finish off their chances. That's genuinely a problem. Now, here's the thing as well. Today, they didn't actually create as many chances and they only had 1 shot on target. So maybe it could be just one of those days for Man City. However, I think to win this league title, considering Chelsea have Lukaku, and I actually have them as favourites, Sonny, even though I support Liverpool, so there's nothing wrong with that. I have them as favourites just because they bought Lukaku. I just feel like it's simple. With City, they should have bought a striker. Like, I think if you speak to every single City fan in the summer, and I think you've spoken to quite a few, they would actually trade Grealish in for a striker, because that's what they needed. They actually just needed someone up top to replace Aguero as well, because Jesus is not reliable. Ferran Torres, brilliant start. However, do you trust him in 38 Premier League games? Like, personally, I don't. So this is why I said Chelsea are favourites for the title, and obviously the other three will challenge them. However, I think City will be one of the first to drop off, and then obviously that's my thoughts on the situation.
I hear you on that, and I wanted to touch on the goal here. I mean, VAR has ruled it offside. Did anybody think that was a harsh decision, or do you think VAR's got that absolutely bang on?
It's spot on, right? That's the thing with that's the thing with VAR though. Like, offside is the only one it will get right, because it's the only black and white rule in the game. You're either offside or you're not. I can get why there's questions about fouls, because that's everyone's interpretation. Offside is you're either offside or you're not, because that the rules cover every angle. And in that situation, he's offside.
Yeah, and I agree on that one. And as soon as I saw it, it looked it to me, even from those angles. How about the other way, though? Because they could have conceded a penalty and gone down. From your point, Gunnar Sol, did you think that Kyle Walker was lucky today, or do you actually think it was maybe even a foul in the other direction, because he got there first? What was your take on the situation with Kyle Walker?
I didn't watch this game, to be honest. I could only watch two of them, so I opted to watch the Liverpool one. That seemed a bit more exciting.
Did anybody else see this moment in real time?
I've seen it now.
Okay.
Like, without, I thought it's debatable, and because Armstrong knew it was coming, but he still got fouled in my eyes. Like, he knew it was coming, he was going to go down, but Kyle Walker still went in rush with it, and he's still not got as much of the ball as I think he should do.
Oh, I just seen it. That's not a penalty. That's not a sending off. Come on. He literally, Kyle Walker recovered. He got in front of him, and the player actually walked over the ball. He didn't even try to shoot. The Southampton attacker walked over the ball, and Kyle Walker at that point already did his job. He messed up.
Do you know what I felt about that as a penalty decision? That was one of them penalties that I feel like the VAR was brought in for, where I remember years ago, there was a very famous one of Lampard's where he was already at like a sort of a 50, 60 degree angle before the contact was made. And it was just making sure there was contact. And Lampard wasn't the only one. I just remember that vividly, the replay of it. Loads of players would already be on their way down, or they used to, like, the defender would put their leg in for a challenge and they would move their leg to make sure there was contact. But in real time, you can understand why those are given. That's what I love for VAR. Even the one with Ramsdale today, if you look at the one with Ramsdale, in real time, for me, it didn't look like the goalkeeper got the touch. And that's where I think VAR does a really good job when you look at these things. And I look at today, the one with Ramsdale as being a black and white decision, a little bit like did the goalkeeper touch the ball first or not? The only way it becomes a foul is if he wins the ball, but then he the follow-through studs his shin or whatever, which is interesting. There was another challenge today, though. Go on.
In both situations, if you look at the Southampton situation, if you guys have watched the clip, Husam or any of you guys, if you go on Twitter and check it out, I didn't watch the game, but just looking at this clip, I can see that the defender's already falling before Kyle Walker even makes contact with him. He's not even attempting to play the ball. And similar with Ashley Barnes and Ramsdale. He sees Ramsdale got the ball. Immediately, he just goes, "Woo, let's fly." That's it. Like, it's not football.
I don't know if this is a crazy statement, but to me, winning penalties is actually an art. Because if that was Mo Salah, if that was Ronaldo, if that was one of those players, they win that penalty. Because here's the thing with Armstrong. He fell down way too early. If he waited literally 2 seconds before falling down, as soon as Kyle Walker made the contact and then fell down, that would have been given as a penalty. So winning penalties is actually an art. Harry Kane wins that penalty as well. So Armstrong fell down way too easily.
When you say it's an art, I remember, you are talking maybe 15, 20 years ago now, Ruud Gullit, maybe a bit less than that, was on Sky. And he explained, so somebody basically said, like, the foreign imports of players of, like, they maybe use a fairly derogatory way of saying it, like it's sort of like the foreign imports have, like, polluted the Premier League with diving. And Ruud Gullit kind of said, I get where you're coming from, but he said, you have to understand that culturally, in a lot of countries, winning a penalty like that is celebrated. It's looked at as an art. It's looked at as a skill set of a player. And that's what I love learning, that element, because it makes you kind of look at it differently. And then I remember maybe 5-6 years ago on these platforms, listening to the likes of Gary Neville, suddenly we started blaming defenders. So if a defender left the leg out and the attacker made sure there was contact, and I was like, it felt like we got to a point in this country where it was like, do you know what? We're never going to eradicate it, so we might as well accept it. And then we started blaming defenders for like people doing it. I'm just at a stage now where I'm like, I don't criticize anyone for diving anymore, because I'm not going to, like, unless I'm willing to call for my own players to be better. Like Gal's just done here, diving. We know for a fact if Aubameyang dives in a North London derby to win a penalty, Gal's celebrating the goal, and he's definitely not and he's definitely not criticizing him. So for me, and I know, by the way, if Ronaldo dives tomorrow for us to beat West Ham, I'm celebrating. So I don't call out anybody else's players for diving. What I call out is the hypocrisy of fan bases that don't call out their own but moan about other people. Like
I'm not calling out the diving. I'm just saying when you dive to win something and it's blatantly obvious that you're not attempting to actually play the ball anymore, and it gets ruled out. It's been correctly ruled out.
Yeah, I mean, but all dives, you're not intentionally trying, because you wouldn't be diving if you're trying to stay on your feet. Like it's,
and also for the English thing, the best divers in the English game right now play for Spurs. Harry Kane, Dele Alli, and they're both English. So let's not say
no. So again, don't
as bad as anyone else currently.
Gal, don't twist the English comment. You got to remember, when those conversations first started happening 15, 20, 25 years ago, diving wasn't a thing here. It was something that was, it was a shock to the system for like the general sort of consumer of British football, because it was something we didn't do. Of course, now the English players have started doing it. And my cousin was a professional football player, and this was 10. He'd been retired 7-8 years. About 10 years ago, we were at a family dinner, and he was there, and he said, how's it been going? He goes, I'm not in the good graces of my manager. I think he's manager with Danny Wilson at the time. Danny Wilson used to be a Prem manager, actually. And I thought, why? He said, I got foul going into the box, but it wasn't enough to make me go down. I stayed on my feet and I crossed it, but we didn't score. And I got into the dressing room, and my manager basically grabbed me, screaming, shouted, swearing, why didn't I go down? And he said, I'm from an era where we just weren't trained to do that. The younger generation, they are encouraged to do it. So I'm not saying that it's a foreign thing, the English don't do it. I'm saying it's taken a long time for the English game to get used to it. But I actually think we're now at a point where it's almost universally accepted. The pundits don't tend to moan too much about it. The only time you get in any trouble for it now is when it's a terrible one. Like, when people like they arch the back and they fly, and then there's no, they're expecting the contact. My favorite ones are when they like dive through the air, arch the back, and then the contact doesn't come. And it's just like, they're the ones where I still think you should be getting properly booked or sent off. But there we go. We're going to go to some more calls. We want to listen to what some more people have got to say this afternoon. First of all, we're going to go to Zayn. No, actually, no, we're going to go to Zayn next. We're going to get Gunnar Express on to have his say with us now. Gunnar Express, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
Yeah, it was good, man. Obviously, I'm going to talk about Arsenal because I watched the game, obviously. I thought we were good. I'm going to start off with negatives. I just want to get them out of the way. Ben White is not worth £50 million, and I will stick by that until the day he leaves his club. He's not worth 50 million. He's not good enough. The guy today, passing was awful, and that's meant to be his main attribute. His heading was decent, but even then it wasn't great. This guy ain't good enough for Arsenal. I get a lot of abuse by my own fan base for saying that on Twitter. And cool, abuse me all you want, but when the facts are there and when he plays bad, I want to hear people giving the same energy to this player. But other than that, we won the game, and I'm happy about that. We got the 3 points. It wasn't the best performance, but yeah, Tomiyasu was good. I thought I have to publicly apologise to Aaron Ramsdale, and this is where I'm going to say it right now. This guy is better than I first thought. Much better. The guy is much better than Bernd Leno. I think I was way too harsh on my criticisms of him at first. I still need to see more before I can start comparing him to play goalkeepers of other Premier League clubs. But yeah, the guy's good. And I think against Tottenham, we're going to win that game. I don't care how bad or how good we're playing. Tottenham are shit, man. How are you losing 3-0 to Patrick Vieira, man? Like, it's embarrassing, but yeah, they're going to get panned by Chelsea. We're going to beat them, and we're going to move on from there, man. And hopefully, obviously, we can start regaining some points on the table and climbing up the table again.
You feel like, I get your point, that you feel like you were wrong about Ramsdale. Do you think you could be wrong about Ben White? Do you think he could level up over the coming weeks and months?
Of course he can. And look, I hope he does. This is the main thing that I'll always say. whenever I criticize a player, because I'm seen as one of the more negative fans for Arsenal, and I get why, and I'm okay with that. But the main thing that always people always forget is I don't want the players to fail. I don't want to be proven right when I criticize a player or call one of our players bad or not good enough. I want them to prove me wrong because, example, if Ben White's not playing well, that means the team that's not good for the team. That means that presumably our performance won't be as good as it could be. So I want him to prove me wrong. I want him to be the best defender on the planet. I want all of our players to be as good as they can be. And it's the same thing with Arteta. I give him a lot of criticism and a lot of stick. But I hope he proves me wrong, because if he's doing bad, we're doing bad as a club and we're not winning. So I really hope Ben White can turn it around. He can. Of course he can. It's only been 3 games, even though I'm criticising him heavily. But right now, I just don't see that he will. But again, I hope that he does, and I hope every player does. Because as I said, with Ramsdale, I got it wrong. So I can get it wrong with anyone, and anyone can get it wrong.
I hear you on that, bro. Listen, thanks for calling in and having your say. I really appreciate it,
Appreciate it,
mate. And I'll speak to you soon. Top man. Thank you. Next up, Zane is here. Zane's a Liverpool fan. How you doing, bro? Welcome back. Give me your thoughts on today's game.
Yeah, I'm good. About the squad depth, you can see, we've got options now in defence now. Clearly, Matip and VVD are the main, but then you now have got, VVD and Konate, and obviously you've got Gomez and Matip as the other combination. So I would say with Konate, he had an average game today. Obviously, he's going to get used to the Prem and all that kind of stuff, but he's got the qualities. Like a lot of times, he's showed his power and pace to get back and get in position. The thing I didn't like about Liverpool, especially second half, is that they did drop deeper. So obviously, that invited the pressure. And obviously, and it's not Palace. Palace are a decent team, and I'm calling it now. They will finish higher than Arsenal. Right, because Palace look decent. When they get up and running, I don't know why you're shaking your head, Egal, because I'm just happy. I'm happy, bro, that Arsenal won, because you're going to have that Arteta fall for another 18 months because he'll save his job for this season, and it'll be another 6 months in the new season before you finally sack him, and hopefully by then, do you know what I mean? You won't have any decent managers. So for me, you carry on, man, because your fan base is dwindling, man. Soon you're not going to be no kids to grow up and
focus on your win. I'm so
confused.
No,
that's fine. But I'm just saying, I'm just calling the fact that you can't diss Palace, because I think they were decent today. But I think overall with Liverpool, like I said to everyone else,
the way Mo Salah celebrated, you think they're Real Madrid?
Look, why are you hating on the boy? Why are you hating? Because he's got a better body than you, man.
There was a reason he took his shirt off. You did not watch the game, Igal.
That's embarrassing. He celebrated. He celebrated like he was a West Ham player.
Let me just say this. Let me just explain this to Igal, because he said this at the start and I stopped myself from responding, but I'm gonna respond. Crystal Palace were having a run. They had like 2-3 chances. We were actually under pressure. They actually had us on the ropes. So when he scored, it's like a relief. Like, there's no longer pressure on us. We're 2-0 up. We're gonna see this out. Like, you're hating because you in your dreams you can have a forward like that right now. So please allow it, bro. This guy just
listen. I didn't realize the stream was infected by
Palace were attacking us for 20 minutes.
Listen. Liverpool fans, relax. I can say that the player is embarrassing for taking his shirt off in a 2-0 victory when you're one of the best teams in the world. And if you are disagreeing and defending him, it just shows me that you know I'm right.
But you're calling the best player in the league embarrassing.
It doesn't matter.
Bro, the best player in the league is act like it. Act like it. Don't act like you're West. Don't act like you're Antonio.
What more can he do?
No.
All right,
act like you're the best player in the league.
All right, Egal, you made your point.
Hang on. Sorry, Egal. I've seen some of the best players in the league ever, like, throw their shirts off and do some mad celebrations after, like, scoring against teams that you wouldn't maybe consider. I remember Ronaldo running to the bench and going mad. It was a winning goal, but Salah's goal was a winning goal. It was that 1-0 was, do you know the chances Palace had? Like, there was I don't remember the name of the player, but there's a ball that came over the top. He had a good touch. Edouard. Yeah, sorry, it was Edouard. Like, he should have scored from that point. Like, they had chances in the game. His goal put it to bed. And I said this the other day, and I stand by it. I know, like, what you normally do at the start of a Prem is first 6-7 games, no one thinks anything about this title race. is going to be the closest and most nail-biting in the history of the Prem, because there are four teams that can win it conceivably, and you're going to get a shock team going there as well. Every game matters, and as soon as they scored that goal today, that was 3 points secured, and it's 3 points. Like, you didn't know the score. City have gone and dropped points. They've got that little advantage again very early on over Man City, and I just think every little point, every little week, it's going to matter massively. So
Terry,
it's
can I say
not
something else on that?
not embarrassing. Go, final point from you, Zane.
Are you going to start showing your graphs again? Because you were showing them last season about Liverpool declining and not getting enough points. Are you now going to start showing how Liverpool been undefeated for the past, 14 games? We're keeping it quiet. Let Chelsea be the favourites. Is all good. But I want to start seeing some graphs again from you, showing how Liverpool been consistent, bro.
So what was the point of those graphs? What was I pointing out to people? What was I pointing out? You obviously know I did it. No. Guys. Why was I showing the graphs, and from what date were they from?
The decline of Manchester.
Gal, wait a sec.
Okay.
Why was I doing it, Zane? Because you've brought them up. You must know why I put them out.
Because obviously we were declining. That's what you're saying. And Man United were, because you had the Man United one as well, and that was showing that they were. And
I also had ones for other clubs. But what was my point? Focusing on Liverpool. What was the premise of what I was putting out?
That we were declining, and now we're not.
No, but why?
You're not showing the graphs again, bro.
Okay. No, but no. So you're simplifying it, and you're not
I like
focusing
to
on my
keep
point.
simple, bro. I'm not a complicated.
Of course, you like to keep it simple, because you know what I was talking about. Because I've got a lot of Liverpool fans that watch this channel that enjoy the content we make, and my point to Liverpool fans last year is that it wasn't injuries that was the issue. There was a decline from the March from before that had started and settled in, and it was demonstrating from a points point of view that when that begun, and you could see it as a clear marker, and there were multiple things that need to be addressed at the football club to get yourselves back. It wasn't a case of just going, we're better than you now, you're rubbish. It wasn't dumbed down in a simple way like that. But of course, over the course of this season, we will show stats. We share a lot of positive stuff about Liverpool as well. This channel for 2 years, as in me, when you guys were winning top of the leagues, what did I say about your club every week? Best team in the world. So we're not biased at the Football Terrace. We will say when you're the best. We'll say when you've declined. The difference is what you find on a lot of YouTube channels now and a lot of fan bases is they all want these little echo chambers where there's certain things you can't say and there's certain things you can say. I've had about Sonny in the last week. I even had it last night. People messaging me saying, please, I'll unsubscribe if Sonny ever comes on again. My response is, see you later. We don't sit in echo chambers. You can come on here, Zane, and say whatever you want within reason about football. Everybody can. So that's what we do here. So yes, there'll be graphs and whatever. But my point when I tend to put out stats is when I say something as an opinion, people say I'm making it up. So then I'll go and find proof and put it out there. If I say something about Liverpool's improvement has been like one of the best ever in Premier League history, and someone says you're lying and making it up, I'll put together the facts to back up my point. That's what it was about, mate. But listen, top man for coming on, Zane. Love it. Cheers for coming last night as well. Top geezer. Speak to you soon, bro. Thank you very much. Cheers, indeed. Bro. Let's go to some comments here. We've got a few super chats that I don't want to miss. Chelsea and Liverpool have matched each other's results every game week so far. So 3-0 against Spurs incoming up the Chelsea. That would be amazing just from that standpoint if it was to happen. Mario here says, there's more chance of Arteta getting sacked and Klopp taking over than Arsenal finishing in the top 6. Facts is what Mario has got to say there. Next caller we're going to go to. So many to pick from. Who do I pick? I'm going to go to Liverpool fan Peterson first of all. Peterson's with us now. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, what's up, guys? By the way, good game. Not because only on the result, but because the way we achieved this result. Konate debut, fantastic. Really played well. I mean, obviously, was not 10 out of 10. Maybe 8, maybe 7.5, but still fantastic for a debut. And the thing also is that we noticed that not only players can get better, but also managers. Because the fact that we rotate, it's like two games that we've been rotating the players, the Champions League and also this game. And we played Curtis, Keita, and Milner, and they played well. I'm happy for Keita's goal, obviously, because he's been struggling for a long time now. Salah, great, like always, scoring when we needed him. So that's why he obviously celebrated like that. So Rigaldo, please don't try to say anything bad.
If Aubameyang's done that, he'd get naked. Let's be real. You take all of it.
So I just want to say a last thing to the Liverpool fans and even maybe Terry. Maybe something that you notice from Liverpool, the way we play a little bit more physical right now. and I'm extremely happy about that because last season we were a little bit lax on that. Players were used to push us around, and we're really not good on physicality. So now we're a bit physical. Extremely happy about that. So yeah,
we're giving out what we get now instead of last season.
Exactly. I'm extremely happy about that. And one last thing, Spurs are playing Chelsea. I hope Spurs wins, obviously, and I hope that Spurs beat Arsenal. Why? Because I want Arsenal to be relegated, because that would be extremely funny. I don't despise Arsenal. I don't care about them, but that would just be extremely funny. So yeah.
I mean, it would, from a content point of view, it isn't going to happen. Arsenal are too good to go down,
Yeah.
but I do get why it'd be funny. Peterson, top man for coming on and having your say. Thank you much indeed. Next up, we're going to go to Monsieur Ahmed, big Liverpool fan, super fan, and legend member of the Terrace as well. What you saying, Monsieur?
Hi guys. I was expecting to see what Sonny's reaction would be when Origi came on. I thought Klopp would tarnish his legacy more, but yeah, that didn't happen. So, but no, it's a good win, guys. Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, and Naby Keita finally gets in the goal scoring record as well. So happy with the win. I still think we won't win the league. It's going to be a tough to challenge because people say it's crazy for us to think that we're not going to win the league. But you got to understand, this time last season in December, we were 9 points clear on top of the table and we blew it. And we're still, our issue is not defense. Our defense has been solid. Our issue was attack, and we still haven't added in squad depth. Do you trust Divock Origi, Taki Minamino? Do you trust Oxlade-Chamberlain to come in when Salah and Mane go to AFCON? I don't. And this is where FSG, I'm still going to be on their case because it seems like everyone's forgotten about FSG. We still got to be on their case because they've let us down this summer. We needed to strengthen up and they let us down. And even if you look at the right back situation, Trent's ill. We had Milner. Yes, he played good this game. Come up against the likes of United, Everton, coming like likes of Leicester, there's going to be a struggle there. So I just wanted more squad depth, and that's what FSG has failed to do. And yeah, I don't think we're going to win the league, but we can always challenge for the trophies that we can.
It's an interesting take. I mean, look, you look very good at the minute. The physicality's there.
Yeah,
it's going to be intriguing. The one thing I think none of us should write off is how our clubs and teams are going to be looking and feeling come January, February, because that's after that, because at the moment there's not been that many games. It's easier to rotate. Teams still look fresh, but you get to that January point after a busy Christmas period. You've got AFCON for Liverpool as an example, which means there are going to be players that are away that are going to be doing other things and everything else. So it's going to be intriguing to see. You nearly always get a team that starts well and then fades for one reason or another. So look, I do still stand by what I've said with Liverpool. If they were to get a couple of big injuries to a couple of their main stars without buying anyone in Jan, they will struggle. They just will, because you look at Mo Salah as an example. You're just never going to be the same team. If he's been the best player in the Prem for the past 4 or 5 years, as Hussein has said, then you can't cope without him. Like, no one copes losing their best players. Look at Barcelona when they lost their best players when Xavi and Iniesta went. They were never as good.
And Terry, it's like today as well.
Wow, Terry! Wow, you really just did that.
Subtle, right? Like a brick.
And Terry, it's like Thiago got injured today as well. So you got Thiago injured, and you got Harvey Elliott. I don't trust Naby Keita with his injury record. So our midfield is starting to look thin and thinner. So it's just a case of, and if you look at every time we challenge for the league or in the last 15 seasons of Liverpool Football Club, we start off well in the first 6 months. January, February is where we start to drop off. You saw in Klopp's first season, he felt January and February. It took a while for him to improve on Jan and Feb. That is where it's key for Liverpool Football Club. And by March, if we're still on the top 2 competing for the league, then yeah, I could go up and say we're going to win the league. But at this moment, to say we're going to compete, we're going to win the league, I think it's a bit ludicrous at the moment.
I hear you there, bro.
I disagree. I don't see how we can't. Every team needs to look to win a league title. That's the thing. Do
you not think, Tom? Do you not think? I think when I listen to a lot of people talk about who's going to win the league, I think everyone has a different terminology. It's can we win the league, or we are going to win the league, or I think we can win it. Like, I think Liverpool can win it. Do I think they will win it? No. It's I do think there's a differential in those two things. And my reasoning is I think they need a deeper squad based on how thick Chelsea and City squads are, as we get into those deeper stages. But right now you're scintillating. Right now you're amazing. Right now you look brilliant. You may not get those injuries. Maybe the players don't fatigue like I think, and they prove everybody wrong. Maybe you buy someone in January and it gets you out of that situation. There's so many moving parts, I think. But Mansour, great man, top man for coming on, having your say. Really appreciate it.
To improve. They need their bench players who have not been contributing as much over the past season to improve and to get to reach that next level. So Naby Keita scored today. If he can keep that going, it can definitely give them an extra element which they don't have. Because if they're complaining about their bench, if the players on the bench right now start producing, they won't be complaining about their bench. That's the only way I can see them winning.
Yeah, I hear you on that. There's a super chat here addressed to you, Agal, actually. It says, took my shirt off today to have a shower. Is that okay, Agal?
Listen. There's a difference. Was there any significance?
This is the best comment
One second. Liverpool
Yes.
fans, Tom and Hussam, was there a significant reason today why he was celebrating that specific goal?
Yes.
Okay, what was it?
Are you going to say Ronaldo's
Me
embarrassing?
and Terry, listen, Terry is neutral. He has explained this to you. He said Crystal Palace had 2-3 chances. Alisson actually made 4 or 5 saves in a row. So look at it from the player's perspective. We are actually soaking up pressure. Palace, let me answer you. Palace are attacking us. Alisson have saved us 3-4 times in a row. So when Salah scores, it's a relief. Because finally it's okay, we've won this game now, and there are Salah has been part of a Premier League title where City have won it by a point, so every point matters. It's significant. It's extremely significant.
Yeah, but absolutely spot on there. Great conversation though.
Can you only take your shirt off if you break a record with a goal?
Yeah, but Ronaldo's doing
someone messaged me.
Is he embarrassing?
I wanted to test your knowledge on your own club. Someone messaged me on Twitter and said, "Oh, Igal, you're taking this out of context. That was his 100th goal. No, now he's 4th all time in Liverpool's goal scorers. That's why he took his shirt off." If that's the case, cool. But none of you guys mentioned that. So I don't know the significance of what he has in his mind to say, "I'm going to celebrate this moment and remember this moment forever."
But by your logic, it's not embarrassing. It's 4th. It's not the first.
I think. Hang on, Agal, though.
I think the reason why I'm saying this,
Agal, I know it was.
You can do that against Manchester United away for the winner, but it's different. He acted like
you
guys, everyone slow down a minute. Who told you he's not the 4th highest goal scorer in Liverpool's history? He's currently sitting there in 10th position on 130 goals across all competitions on this website I'm on. So where's that come from? 4th?
No. The guy messaged me on Twitter and he said something about 10.
The guy is wrong. He's not 4th.
So I mean, I actually think. By the way, so I don't know where. I'm just looking at a stat site here that says.
Oh no, top 10. Yeah, he just broke the top 10.
That's more. Hang on, and one second.
That's even more embarrassing.
Guys. Yeah, that's more embarrassing. Celebrating getting into the top 10 scorers of all time than celebrating the winner against the most important goal in the game against Palace. Come on, Igal, you're clutching there. You're clutching, bro. But nice try.
Okay.
You're trying to do a sunny. By the way,
I'm not trying to do nothing.
I'm joking. Look, why do people struggle with jokes now on the internet? I did want to speak to Sonny before he left. Actually, there was a tackle from Thiago very early on in the game, which I thought he should have got booked for, by the way, because it stopped the counter attack. But did you all notice how he slid in from the side with not a lunge, but one of those slide tackles where you land near the other player's legs? I was dying. I was like, I so wish I was in a room with Sonny to be like, why are you not asking for him to be arrested and put in jail? It was almost an identical tackle. He just didn't land on a man's ankle. Comment here says, Igal, whose striker does flips like that, like he's in a gym class? Yeah, by the way, I swear Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang put on a Black Panther mask and did a backflip when he scored the 3rd goal in a 4-0 rout against Palace or someone like that before.
No, it was Valencia in the Europa League semi-finals.
Yeah, but I swear he did some flips in other games.
Stop being miserable.
You are miserable. You are miserable.
No.
Why?
Listen, the reason why I said that is because I know it's going to get a reaction out of you Liverpool fans, and I can't talk about how bad your team is. So I'm gonna draw on whatever I can.
Igal, note to self: don't admit you're doing something for effect.
No, I'm not doing it for effect. I genuinely believe it. I genuinely believe it. I genuinely believe it. I genuinely believe it. But the reason why I was upset is because where's the it's hypocrisy. The same fans who are making fun of my guy for taking off his shirt for no reason, and this guy's doing this. Honestly, it is a West Ham type thing.
Because we were making fun of it because he didn't score the goal. He did nothing. He missed the header, and then it looked like he was taking his shirt off in celebration.
Yeah, it was a bit of fun. Do you know what I've noticed with football fans? They can't. So I actually tweeted earlier, right? I'm actually going to find the damn tweet because it made me die, right? I put out a thing saying VAR is magic, Now, VAR is magic means when you say something is magic, it means it's good. Like everyone knows what that kind of expression means. Arsenal fans in my comments are like, it weren't a penalty. You're being a hater. Stop playing the victim, Terry. That's because people are so jaded now with banter. They can't take it anymore. Like the reason that Man City and Pep are fighting each other over this fans thing is because their fans are so sensitive about not selling out. Like if Jurgen Klopp today said, oh, thanks guys, but you know what? Next week we're going to need you even more because we're going to be exhausted because of these reasons. The Kloppites would go, let's go for it. If Ollie said it, they'd be straight on it. You say to the City fans, we really need your support. And they're like, what you say? What do you mean by that? They start reading between the lines. What do you mean by that? Gal, you're a little bit like that as well, bro. People make a little joke and you're like, why are you taking the piss out, Mike? I suppose it's because Arsenal are banter FC, so it's hard, isn't it? Like
you invented banter FC. Manchester United finished 6th, and the name banter FC was invented by making the piss out of Manchester United.
Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. The point is, the mantle got given to you, bruv. By the way, England invented football. We ain't been the best for about 90 years, bruv. Like, do you know what I mean? Don't matter who invents it. It matters who's got it now. You guys have got the wooden spoon. You know you've got the wooden spoon.
Okay, we won today. No one wants to talk about it because
so stop being miserable.
What do you mean? Hang on. What do you mean no one wants to talk about it? I've just literally sat here for an hour and 15 minutes and 27 seconds, and you've been a big part of the show. Said well done. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I hear that.
Yeah. Imagine Terry does a show to celebrate the winning of the game. No one's talking about Arsenal. Literally, you're in the title, bruv. You're not the mainstay because obviously top of the tree and all that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Club.
I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm gonna be there Friday for the North London Derby preview. Those Tottenham fans better be ready.
Do you know what? Honestly,
they better bring the smoke.
I watched it last night's show back in sync as well. We should be getting that sorted, please. Honestly. If we don't get it in sync, I'm gonna hurt myself, right? I tell you, because we work so hard to get it right. I was actually surprised at the positive comments. The content was actually quite good. We're gonna strip a few things back next week, and make some of the segments short. We went on like the Trent debate. I didn't realize it went on for 14 minutes. Like it's got to be shorter. But the preview next week should be a little bit more fun. Do you know what was really sad about last night's preview? Not one of the Spurs fans believed they could win, so it was really hard to like get a to and throw. But yeah, the North London special next Friday night on the terrace. Make sure you're there. If you're one of our first team members or super fan members of the channel, please DM me. Get yourselves booked in. We want to get you in the studio for it. We're gonna get a gal's gonna be there. One of our lead Arsenal fans. We've got 2 other Arsenal fans I want to be bringing in, both making debuts on the terrace down in the studio. I think Gunnar Souls, you're gonna try and come down as well, right?
Yeah, I'll be down.
Yeah, I think you're coming down as well. So Gunnar Souls will be there. We're going to fill the room with some Spurs fans as well. It's going to be a big show next Friday. I want to break records on the terrace. So make sure all of you are there for that Friday, 6 p.m. We'll do another call now. We're going to go to Sharim. Sharim's on the call. Liverpool fan. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, bro. Thanks for letting me on. First of all, congratulations to Arsenal. Finally getting out of the relegation zone. 2 wins, 2 games. So, you know.
Thank you.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. That's the game of the day for me. But I just want to talk about the Liverpool game. Basically, I don't know if I heard right, but a couple of fans were talking about negative points about the game. But personally, I don't think there's any negative points. I think the most important thing to realize is we played average today and we got the 3 points. Now, last season, that was our biggest issue where we were playing average and we end up losing or drawing games. Now, this season, it looks like we can do that again where we can actually win games. So I think it's a big positive, and I wouldn't take it as a negative. I won't take the game to heart, if I'm being honest.
Mate,
what do you guys think?
The negative is just in some of the bench options. Like the problem with us was never the starting 11. The problem is the drop off, aka Trent starting at right back versus Milner starting at right back. Milner defensively was amazing today, but we don't need defensive right backs. We need a right back who can bomb forward and create something. This is why, for example, throughout the entire summer, we were actually calling out for a Max Aarons to be our backup right back, because today, if you just notice James Miller in the final third, he always made the wrong decision or just spammed the crossing or never actually made anything significant of note. And we need that because of the way we play football. So, some of the drop off level sometimes it's just frustrating. So, that's basically it.
I think with that, I think when it comes to Jan Feb, that's when it's going to be important. When these fringe players start coming in, because we tend to struggle then, and we need those fringe players to step up.
Yeah.
So at Ox, Naby, we had that problem in the past few years. There's a reason why Wijnaldum's not here, it's because those stealing the living.
Do you know what I
this
would
club,
say as
and
well?
we should have kept him.
Yeah.
But
Do
I
you
think
know-
just
do-
looking sorry, go on.
So, yeah, on the negative thing though, like you said, like again, it's when you watch your own team. I think this striving for perfection is almost obsession for like perfection is almost ill-advised in the sense of I watched you. You never looked in any real danger,
Exactly.
barring that opening 5-6 minutes. I thought you played really well. You scored 3 goals. Like I swear that's above the average that like top level football in England you score. It's games where you sort of like put teams to bed in 20, 30 minutes. They're like a rarity. And the way you played against Milan, the intensity for the majority of the first half and the majority of the second half, if you actually played with that level of intensity in every game, you would fall off an edge of a cliff by January. Your team would not be able to maintain it. There are times where you have to just manage games and not be as like potent. And the amount of times as a Man United fan, especially when we were good, you know, we'd be 2-0 up at half time. And Fergie, we'd maintain intensity for the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half. And then we're playing third gear for the rest of the game. Yeah. And it used to, as a fan, I'm like, let's go for it. Let's go 3, 4, 5. I want to be entertained. But actually, you have to think. That's why when people say football's about entertainment first, I don't think it is, because no one plays at full throttle for every game, for every minute to entertain. Otherwise, they would never win anything. That's my view. But Sarim, listen, bro, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. I know there's still lots of people waiting to come on backstage. We are at the end of the show now, I'm afraid. I'm very, very sorry that I can't get any more people on today. But obviously, I cannot understand why the Prem has put all 3 of the big teams today on at the same time. Should have done one early, one in the middle, one now. She's watching Everton versus Villa. About 7 people, I reckon. I literally, more people go to the Etihad than are watching that game, I tell you. It's true. It's true. It's true. But listen, everybody that's tuned in, a massive thank you to all of you. Please hit that like button before you go. Well done for Liverpool for being top. Congrats to Mikel Arteta, unbeaten since the international break. City in the mud today. All 7, 8, 9 of their fans fuming with Pep Guardiola's team performance today. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.